Om Shrutismritipurananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavadpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Ajnananjanhavitirtham Vidyatirtham Vivekinam Sarvesham Sukadam Tirtham Bharati Tirthamashraye Vidya Vinaya Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tattvajñam Vidhushekara Bharatim. Dear friends, welcome to the 27th session of PRABODHA SUDHAKARA discussions. We were discussing the Advaita Prakaranam, which is the 10th chapter of PRABODHA SUDHAKARA in the last meeting. We will continue our discussions on this chapter in today's meeting. So this whole chapter was discussing the nature of the Atman to be non-dual. That is, apart from the Atman, there is nothing else which has real existence, which has existence in the truest sense. That is the thing which is being pointed out here. So in this case, in case of Brahman or the Atman, there are two aspects or two parts of the definition which we are looking at. The first one is Sat, that is Satta, which is the substance through which all things are made. That is called the Satta of the substance. Satta or the substance. That is the chair is made of wood. So wood becomes the Satta of the chair. Then the wood becomes the thing and atoms become the, or carbon atoms become the Satta of the wood. And like that we were seeing the ultimate Satta is nothing but Atman. That is the revelation of the Upanishad. Similarly, the Chaitanya, that is I, the consciousness principle, I recognize myself as that entity who knows, right? So therefore we say we are consciousness. I am consciousness. We say I am a conscious principle. What is this I? This I is nothing but the Atman. So this Atman is nothing but a conscious principle. This Atman is another word in the Shastra for I. So when one says I, what one really means? Atma. That is the true nature or true meaning of that word I. This I, which is the Atman, is having the capability of being a illuminating entity. That is, it has the capability of revealing things which are out there in the world. So there is, as Satta, Atman is the Satta of all things. Brahman is the Satta of all things. As Chaitanyam, Brahman or Atman is the soul only, and without any other Chaitanyam, it is present, it is available. So among all the knowers, each jiva, if you imagine them to be individual knowers, between all these knowers or across all these knowers, there is only one knowing principle, there is only one consciousness principle, which is the Atman. So as Satta, I am one. There is no Satta in this entire universe apart from myself. As consciousness principle, as Chaitanyam, there is no Chaitanyam in this entire universe apart from myself. In fact, this entire universe, in this entire universe, we say this is also not accurate. The universe depends on my Satta for its existence. The Chaitanyam, the various jivas depend on this Atman alone, which is I, myself, for each of the jivas knowing ability, each of the jivas existence is determined by this Atman's existence. Really speaking, the jiva is nothing but the Atman. Really speaking, all things are nothing but the Atman. Therefore, the Atman is one and only thing which is there without having a dual thing, without having another thing existing apart from it. Either you consider the Jadavastu, that is all the matter in the world, then the Atman is behind all of them as the Satta. If you consider all the Chaitanya Vastu, that is all the jivas in the world in this manifestation, then in and through all these jivas, this Satta, The satta of the jivas, the chaitanya of the jivas is this Atman alone. So therefore the Atman alone exists. Therefore we call it as Advaita Atma. Hence this Advaita Prakaranam. That is the main teaching of this Prakaranam. So in the last meeting, Bhagavad Padacharya was telling us, conveying to us via this wonderful shlokas, the Advaita nature of this Atma. So how come there are many jivas? That was the main point in the last meeting, if you say. There are many jivas only in the appearance, only as means of a reflection there are many jivas. It is not really that there are many jivas. Actually, there can be many reflection, but the sun is one only. In the same way, there can be many jivas, but the Atman is one only. The Atman is like the original knowing principle, original consciousness, illumining principle, whereas these jivas are all existing only as reflected entities of this consciousness, reflected conscious entities. That's all. So with this idea, analogies were presented in the last meeting, which we have seen, and we also understood from these analogies that these reflections may undergo various changes. They may be undergoing various modifications. However, the original entity does not undergo any modifications. The reflections may come and go. They may be time bound. They may be object bound. They may seem to acquire some properties based on the properties of the reflecting medium. But the entity which is getting reflected, that is the absolute principle. That principle, the sun, for instance, in this analogy, does not get affected by changes in the reflecting medium. Same way, the Atman is unaffected by the sufferings or the dukkha which is encountered by the jiva, does not touch the Atman at all. No change is applicable to the Atman at all. The jiva doesn't affect the experiences of the jiva. The actions done by the jiva don't affect the Atman, but the jiva is nothing but the Atman in its true sense. This principle, this idea was being conveyed with the help of the reflected medium analogy. This is one of the analogies which we saw in the last verse, which is verse number 126 in the last meeting. Svavyaparam kurute yathaika savitu prakashena tadvat characharamidam hekatma sattaya chalati. Just as all the beings in this world, in this earth, as and when the day comes up, they are all going about their activities. In the same way, as and when the Atman is available, in the presence of the Atman, the entire world is running, the entire world is activated and performing various actions and so on and so forth. So here, the Atman is the conscious entity which is behind all the jivas that is being talked about. Okay. So let us go on to the next verse. येनोदकेन कदलीचम्पकजात्यादयः प्रवर्धन्ते मूलकपलाण्डुलशुनास्तेनैवैते विभिन्नरसगन्धाः. So, most of the previous verses, if you see, they were focusing on the Atman being the Chaitanya, Ekatma Chaitanya. So, Advaita Atma Chaitanya, as the conscious principle, this Atma is one. All jivas are nothing but Atma only. This was the focus of the previous few verses, one would say. Now, in this verse, another idea, which is a deeper idea, is being revealed. You can say it is partially related to the previous idea here, but there is another idea which is being revealed, which is that of the substance, the satta, which we just spoke about. So, for that, one more analogy is given here. Let us see this analogy first. Yena Udakena, so from water. So Udakena means water. What is happening? Certain things are happening here. What is happening? From this one water, or with the help of this one water, variety is emerging. What is the variety emerging? So this analogy is essentially to explain from one substance, how come many substances of varying properties can come. For that, one example is being given here. Yena, udakena, water is one only. Water itself by itself does not have any color or taste. You remember this? It does not have any color or taste or smell. It is tasteless, odorless. Water, pure water is tasteless and odorless, and in fact colorless also. Right. So keep that in mind. Now let us see the things which arise out of this water with the help of this water. Let us see what they are. Kadali, Champaka, Jatyadaya, Pravardhante. So various kinds of flowers is being talked about. Kadali, Champaka, Jati, Ityadi. The various flowers are being talked about. Pravardhante means they all grow. Then what else? These flowers, they are having their own, what do you say, colors, and then they are having their own smells, right? Each smell is different from another smell. So Kadali, that flower has a different smell. That Pushpa has a different smell. Champaka has a different smell. Then Jati has a different smell. Like that, all flowers have their own smells, their own flavors, right? And adaya. So many more things you can consider here. All varieties of flowers you consider, they each one has its own smell. Different flowers of different colors and different smells, all are coming forth. They are all being energized. They are all grown from the same water. So variety arises from the singular entity which by itself does not have any properties. This idea is one has to remember. The next verse, what is half the verse, what is it talking about? Mulaka palandu lashunaha. Mulaka palandu lashuna. So what is this mulaka? So the how do you say, the mullangi we say, right? So that thing. Then palandu, then ginger, garlic is being talked about. So again, variety of taste, onion, garlic, then this radish, variety of smell, variety of taste, variety of color. Some are good, some are bad. You see, when we talk about onion and garlic, Shastra says one should not have them. For a sattvic life, one should not have onion and garlic. It is rajasic in nature. So we consider it as a negative thing. If you want to lead a sattvic life, it should not be had. So negative thing. Whereas certain other things are there which are also grown by water, which are positive, like rice and stuff. They are all positive. Similarly, in flowers, certain flowers are meant for some good purpose. Certain flowers are meant for some, unfortunate purpose, or some, purpose which is not meant for puja, like that. Not appropriate to be offered for puja and stuff. So such flowers are also there. So some positive elements are also there in this manifestation. Some negative elements are also there in this manifestation, irrespective of the opposing characteristics, the varying characteristics of these manifestations, whether it be in this context, in this example, whether it be the flowers or whether it be the various vegetables, various, eatables, which are arising out of the same water. They are all coming out of the same water, which by itself is tasteless, odorless, colorless. So a property free, tasteless, odorless, colorless, so far it is property free item. From this property free item, various other items which have properties are arising. This is the vibhinna rasa gandha. So these are all having variety of rasa, which taste, and gandha, smells. From a thing which does not have property, that is water, variety is arising which has its own taste, which has its own properties, which each one of which have its own properties. Contradictory properties are also arising. Like this, what happens? One has to remember, or one has to imbibe the idea that in the same way, the Atman, which by itself is Nirguna, which by itself does not have any properties, which by itself is not bound by desha, not bound by kala time, not bound by desha space, not bound by any vastu, not bound by any gunas, nirguna it is, not having any properties by itself, not having any parts of itself, which cannot be described because in a positive way we cannot describe the Atma directly because it does not have any properties and so on. So this propertyless thing which is the Atman, from this Atman the entire universe springs forth. The springing forth of everything including space and time from the Atman. This bringing forth also is not an event in time, it is an as though manifestation, as though it is there, the variety is there, but behind all the variety, there is this entity which does not have any difference or which does not have any second thing apart from it. So Atman manifests as the Jagat which has variety. The Atman itself is one only. This is the idea conveyed by that shloka from before. Now, so from this previous shloka, so let us see it once again. From this previous shloka, what we understand is that this Atma is the Satta from which the Jagat has arisen. And this arising of the Jagat is not an event in time. So we have to understand it the other way around. The Jagat is visible, but this Jagat is not really Jagat. The Jagat is only an appearance. The substance of this Jagat is nothing but the Atman. Just like this variety has come from the water, in the same way, this Jagat variety appears to exist, but it is not existing separately from the Atman or Brahman. That is the idea that one entity alone is Advaita entity, the Advaita Atma. That is the only entity which is there. Continuing. Eko hi sutradharaha काष्ठ प्रकृतिरनेकशो युगपत् स्तंभाग्रपट्टिकायां नर्तयतीह प्रगूढ़दया. So once again, a message is given here about the singular entity who is the Atman, who lies behind all the jivas, who is not only manifesting as the world, but also as the various entities which function in the world. Behind all of them, the Atma is there. That idea is being conveyed. So what is this thing here? The example here is given of a puppet show which is run by a puppet master sitting behind the screen and operating the puppets. Ekaha hi sutradharaha. So there is only one puppet master. Kashtha prakritihi anekasho yugapat. So there are many kashtha prakriti. Kashtha prakriti means things which are made of wood. So in this case, what are the things which are made of wood? The puppets. So it's a wooden puppet show. Kashtha prakriti means the wooden puppets. Behind all of them, there is only one sutradhara, one entity who is pulling all the strings, who is holding all the strings. The strings are the ones which are used to manipulate the puppets, right? Anekasho yugapat, in the same time, yugapat, at spontaneously, in the same time, simultaneously operating all the puppets. So just because there are many jivas in this world, each one seems to operate according to their own thinking, their own interest, their own desires and so on. Don't imagine as though there are many Atmas in this world. There is only one and only Atma. This one and only Atma is running the whole show. That is our understanding. Anekashaha Kashta Prakritihi Yugapat Nartayati Iha Nartayati. In this world only, the puppets are being shown, the puppets are being activated by one puppet master who is the Atma. In the same way, the jivas are being activated only by one Atma who is the real conscious principle. Stambhagra pattikayam pragodhataya nartayati. So this puppet master is sitting not in front of the screen, but behind the screen, hidden behind the screen. Pragodhataya, sitting behind the screen, he is operating. So therefore, he is not visible. But one has to only think a little bit outside of the. So one has to look a little bit around the puppet show, not focus on the puppet show too much. Just take a step back and visualize the puppet show happening. Look at the puppet show. Outside of it also you look a little bit. Now you see that the puppets are running, but magically they are being controlled by somebody who is pulling the strings. So one starts to think, who is this entity? Is there one entity or many people pulling the strings? Then slowly one understands, not directly, because the puppet master is not visible directly, but indirectly, slowly one understands that there has to be only one puppet master. In the same way, this Atman is behind all the activities done by all the jivas. Directly, one cannot perceive the Atman. Why? Because this Atman is nothing, it's not lying outside. He is not part of the show. That Atman is not part of the show. As long as one is interested in the show, one cannot perceive the Atman who is the master of the show, who is running the show. Because the master of the show is outside of the show. The puppet master is outside of the puppet show. Correct. Standing outside, he is activating everything. In the same way, this Atman, standing outside is activating the entire universe. But standing outside of the universe, what is there? Nothing is there. Universe means that which is outside. So how can there be a thing which is standing outside of outside? The universe means that which is outside. How can there be a thing which is standing outside of outside? Outside of outside is not outside. Neither it is inside. It is I alone. I am the seer. What I see is outside. That is my universe. The universe is nothing but what I see. If there is something which is lying outside of the universe, it has to be only this I consciousness principle. So this I consciousness principle is manifested as in and as everything, and it is handling, it is managing the show, even though not being affected by the show. That also we saw before by another example. Just like the puppet master is not affected by what is happening in the puppet show, in the same way this Atman is not affected by what is happening in this show, which is nothing but the world. This world is nothing but a show. Very good. Okay, so now back and forth between these ideas. All these ideas are reinforcing one thing, that there is only one Satta, there is only one Chaitanyam. Whether you understand the word Satta or not, whether you understand the word Chaitanyam or not, it is not important. What is important here is, I am the self, I am the Atman, and I am the consciousness principle. What does consciousness means? I am the one by which everything becomes known. I am the one by which everything is revealed. That is the consciousness principle. That by which everything is revealed is the consciousness principle. It is the definition of consciousness. What am I? I am the one by which all things are revealed. Number one. Then number two, I don't have any boundaries. I am not part of the world. I am not manifesting within the world. I am not confined to this body. I am not confined to this mind. Whereas this mind, this body, this world, these things which are there in the world, all are revealed to me. They depend on me for existence. They don't exist apart from me. I am not apart from them. I am something beyond them. At the same time, I am immanent in the entire Srishti. So, I am this Ekatma Brahma Chaitanyam. This Satchidananda Vastu I am. Without losing oneself in this world, one tries to see, one has to attempt to see the truth of this, that apart from me, nothing exists, and I am the revealer of all. So therefore, I am the Chaitanyam, I am the Satta. I am the Chaitanyam because I am the revealer of all. Apart from me, nothing exists. I have provided existence to everything. So therefore, I am the Satta of all. So therefore I am Sat Chit. And Ananda naturally follows, because Ananda is nothing but Purnatvam. I feel complete. That is Ananda. I don't say that I lack anything. I am full. I don't have anything to gain in this world. I have already gained everything that is there to gain. How can there be a gain for me? Because I am not separate from everything. Everything that I desire for, I already have, because I am that which I desire. I desire for a car, I am that car which I desire. I desire for a house, I am that house I desire. I desire for a spouse, I am that spouse which I desire. If one arrives at this conclusion, then there is nothing that remains to cause oneself sorrow. Therefore, one is Purna. Therefore, one becomes complete. Therefore, one is always happy. Naturally, it follows. This idea is being reinforced by all the examples which are provided. Now, let us see this one. गुडखण्डशर्कराद्या भिन्नाः स्युः विकृतयो यथैकेक्षोः केयूरकङ्कणाद्या यथैकहेम्नो भिदाश्च पृथक्. So again the idea is, from one thing multiple things come. Guda, Khanda, Sharkaradya. So Guda is jaggery, Khanda is the sugar, that what do we say as kalkand in Tamil, that the cubes of sugar, you can say, or the crystals of sugar. Sharkaradya, then the powdered sugar. Bhinnasyuhu, so they are all different. Vikritayaha, so they are all variety. They are all, they have, each one has a different shape, a different color also perhaps. Yatha eka ikshoho, all of them come from the same substance, which is jaggery. One example over. So same, sorry, not jaggery, sugarcane. The same sugarcane, ikshu, sugarcane, the same sugarcane leads to the manifestation of all of these different, but of course sweet condiments, one can say, sugary condiments. Keyura Kankanadya, other famous example. So Keyura Kankana, so the earrings, then the various other ornaments, the bangles and other ornaments. Yathaika hemno, eka hemno yatha bhidasya prathak. So from the same gold, hemno, from the same gold, eka hemno, from the same gold, the variety, bhidasya prathak. So each one is different. The Keyura is different, the Kankana is different. So all these different ornaments are made from the same gold. In the same way, the Atman is the entity which is behind the entire Srishti, which is manifested as the entire Srishti. So the Atman is the Satta of the entire Srishti. That is the idea. Evam Prithak Swabhavam Prithakakaram Prithak Vritti Jagat Uchavacham Uchaihi Ekenaivatmana Chalati. So the conclusion of that analogy is being told. What is that? In the same way, evam, as described by the previous sugarcane example, the various, the variety of flowers and vegetables arising from the same water, that example. Then the gold ornaments, different gold ornaments arising from the same gold example. In the same way, Prithak Swabhavam, Prithak Akaram, Prithak Vritti, Jagat, Uchchavachamuchchaihi Jagat. This world, which is running in both, positive way and negative way. Both the positive vritti is there, negative vritti is there. The forms are different. The activities done by the jivas are different. All the jadas, the various jada vastus, they have their own swabhava. The jivas have their own swabhava. Like that, variety is manifest in the manifestation in what the world is there. In the world, we see variety. We have so many variety. We have ups and downs. We have variety of experiences. We have varieties of taste, variety of smell, variety of mental perceptions, etc. and etc. Any single item you touch, you find variety. There is no one particular one particular thing of any particular kind there. For everything, there is an opposite thing in this creation. For day, there is night. For morning, there is night. Then for positive, there is negative. So for solid, there is liquid, and so on and so forth. By default, the variety is the order of the day in the world. This entire variety is arising out of Ekenaiva Atmana Chalati, is arising and manifesting and running only because of this same Atman, the one and only Atman. Ekenaiva Atmana Chalati. No two exists, only one exists, and this one manifests as several. So one becomes the satta of everything. That is the idea. How it becomes the satta of everything, that we have mentioned in the previous meeting. These varieties, each one of these varieties, if you see their substance, if you try to inquire into their nature and see what really they are made of, one understands that they are made of nothing but consciousness. Things exist because things exist. This word existence, when we say things are existing, things exist. This word existence, when we say this fundamental, this across all the things, there is this common word called existence. A table is, a chair is, a thought is, an apple is, a banana is, and so on and so forth. In this, the is there. This is the commonality between all of these items. This common is which is there is nothing but the Atma, sir. This easiness of everything is nothing but the Atman. This is what the Upanishads have told us. We have to understand it, of course. What they have told, we have to understand it. Both are important. Right? They have told, the Upanishads have told, this is the true real nature of the self. This does not violate logic. This has to be imbibed. This has to be assimilated by us. That is our job. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana is our job. We see variety, we interact with variety every day. We believe variety exists every day. However, this seeing and interacting with variety is not a problem. Believing that variety exists is the problem. That is what Shastra says. Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati. As long as one perceives duality in the world, one believes that there are really, I am there, somebody else is there, one more person is there, things are there, therefore problems arise. If this idea that I am different from others, I am different from other things go away, one sees the reality of all things as oneself, then there is no problem. That verse also comes in Upanishad. Acharya also going to say this. Let us see. स्कन्दधृतसिद्धमन्नं यावन्नाश्नाति मार्गगस्तावत् स्पर्शभयक्षुत्पीडे तस्मिन् भुक्ते न ते भवतः. One beautiful verse talking about the fruit of understanding the non-dual nature of oneself. An analogy is given. Skandadhrita-siddhamannam yavan yavat na ashnati margagah tavat. So what is this? Margagaha means the traveler, the one who goes on the marga, one who is traveling on a road. Skandadhrita siddhamannam yavat na ashnati. Until the time, yavat na ashnati. Until the time one does not eat, one does not consume. What consume? Consume what? Skandadhrita siddhamannam. That which is available to him, readily available to him, that traveler, in the form of food which he carries on his own shoulder. So this traveler is carrying on the traveling on the path, and he has food with himself. With oneself he is carrying the food. It is kept on the shoulder like a shoulder bag. Inside that tiffin box, inside that there is food. As long as the person has not eaten the food, one thing a little bit olden days, sparsha bhaya kshutpide. There are two possibilities of getting affected as long as one is not eating the food. What is this sparsha bhaya? First one is somebody may steal that food away from me. Some dacoit may come and steal the food away from me. One possibility. Kshutpida. Hunger, the pangs of hunger may be there. That causes suffering. The bhaya from the thief, from the robbers, from the dacoits causes suffering. These sufferings will not be there if the food is eaten. No problem. Somebody is going to steal the food, or this food will become waste, or this my hunger is creating problems for me. I am very hungry, I am tired, I need rest, and so on and so forth. These problems which arise because of the hunger and because of fear of stealing the food will be no longer a problem as and when, immediately as and when the person eats the food which is available with oneself. So example is given in the same way. If one knows this Atman which is oneself, so one is always available with oneself. So there is no need to go anywhere to know the Atman. Here itself one can know the Atman. Of course, one needs that, capacity. One needs to have the eligibility. One needs to have the fourfold qualifications: Vairagya, Viveka, Vairagya, Kshamadi, Shatka, Sampatti, Mumukshutvam, etc. One needs to surrender oneself to Guru, and through that Shravana Manana Nidhyasana done with the help of the Guru, one understands the Atman. If one does that, then this problems arising out of the Ajnanam, problems arising out of the samsara, that is all our emotional problem will go away. This is the idea. Suffering exists. I have complaints in this world only as long as I don't know the self. That's it. So this Advaita Jnanam is not a mere Jnanam, but it is this Ananda Swarupa Jnanam. One knows the nature of oneself as this happiness itself. That because of which I was happy now and then, that happiness I am. This is the understanding. How come I can be happiness? Happiness is nothing but the idea that I don't need anything else in this world. I have acquired everything. This feeling comes to the mind once one understands the Atma. One is not searching for a second thing, whether it be material stuff, whether it be some people, whether it be some environment, whether it be some positive guna, negative, avoidance of negative guna, etc., whether it be a spiritual quest, whether it be a material quest, all these quests go away. There are no quests anymore. There are no questions anymore. There is only peace of mind and completion and happiness. This is the state of the jnani. That is what is being told about. Eating the food is a metaphor for attaining the Atma Jnanam. Manusha Matanga Mahishashva Sukaradishvanusyutam Yaf Pashyati Jagadisham Sa Eva Bhunkte Dvayanandam. So the translation of the famous, one can say a verse related to the famous verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Manusha Matanga Mahisha Shva Sukara Adishu Anusyutam. Manusha, human beings. Matanga, the elephants. Mahisha, the bulls and the bullocks. Shva, the dogs. Sukara, the pigs. Adishu, etc. So one cannot list everything, so etc. So etc. means what? In all these forms of life, all which forms? Every form is included in this Adi. Apart from the animal form, the human form, the elevated animal form, the elevated human being, the lowly human being, the elevated animal, the lowly animal. Pigs are also included. Mahisha and Matanga is also included. Shwa is also included. The dog is also included. Everything, the high and the low, all the jivas in this world, Adishu Anusyutam. In all these beings, what is the common thread? Atman is the common thread. Yaf Pashyati Jagadisham. This Atman is nothing but Brahman. Jagadisham. It is the Lord of everything. Saeva Bhunkte Advayanandam. One who perceives the Lord of everything in these varying jivas, that person alone attains peace of mind and attains this Advayanandam. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham na alpe sukham asti. Upanishad Vakya. That which is this Brahman, in this understanding this Brahman, there is Ananda, there is Sukha. In everything else, in this Alpa, in anything else which you get from the world, yes, there is a limited happiness which you get, temporary happiness which you get, but then the temporary happiness brings along lot of problems with it, apart from the sorrow which one gets when the thing which was enjoyed goes away. All happiness in this world is bound by time and space and causation. All these small chota pleasures, the worldly pleasures, don't have the capability of satisfying you, whereas this knowledge of the Advaita Atma has the capability of satisfying you, and therefore one becomes this Purna, one becomes this Advaita Ananda. One becomes Ananda. Becomes Ananda means what? One is Ananda, one understands. So one does not search for happiness anymore. One does not search to be peaceful anymore. One is peace, one is happiness. This is the idea. Okay. So, with this verse, we have concluded our discussion of the Advaita Prakaranam, which is a very important prakarana in the entire Prabodha Sudhakara, a prakarana which is worthy of being repeated, which is worthy of being memorized, which is worthy of recollection again and again and again, I would say. Even after one understands the, when one gets the knowledge of Advaitam, then Nididhyasanam has to be there. For Nididhyasanam, this Advaita Prakaranam, I have found that it is a very important and useful Prakaranam. So with this, we will conclude today's session. In the next session, we will look at the next Prakaranam, which is the Kartritra Bhoktritva Prakaranam. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
मङ्गलं गुरुश्री चन्द्रमौळीश्वरगे शक्तिगणपति शारदाम्बೆಗೆ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಕಾಲಭೈರವಗೆ ಕಾಳಿದುರ್ಗಿಗೆ ವೀರಧೀರ ಶೂರ ಹನುಮ ಮಾರುತಿ ಚರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಗೆ ಚೆಲ್ವ ಜನಾರ್ದನಗೆ ಅಂಬಾ ಭವಾನಿ ಕಂಬದ ಗಣಪತಿ ಚಂಡಿ ಚಾಮುಂಡಿಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರಣ್ಯರಿಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾಶಂಕರಗೆ ವಾಗೀಶ್ವರಿಗೆ ವಜ್ರದೇಹ ಗರುಡಾಂಜನೇಯರಿಗೆ ತುಂಗಭದ್ರೆಗೆ ಶೃಂಗನಿವಾಸಿನಿಗೆ ಶೃಂಗೇರಿಪುರದೊಳು ನೆಲೆಸಿರುವಂಥ ಶಾರದಾಂಬೆಗೆ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ಶಿವ ಅಭಿನವ ನೃಸಿಂಹ ಭಾರತಿಗೆ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿ ಗುರು ಸಾರ್ವಭೌಮರಿಗೆ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿ ಗುರು ವಿದ್ಯಾತೀರ್ಥರಿಗೆ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿ ಗುರು ಭಾರತಿ ತೀರ್ಥರಿಗೆ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿ ವಿಧುಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿಗೆ ಮಂಗಳಂ ಗುರುಶ್ರೀ ಚಂದ್ರಮೌಳೀಶ್ವರಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಗಣಪತಿ ಶಾರದಾಂಬೆಗೆ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಗಣಪತಿ ಶಾರದಾಂಬೆಗೆ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯರಿಗೆ